It is time. Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted 2 is finally here, and it's time to get down to business. Hey guys, how's it hanging? It is TheLivingBlueJay here, and today I'd like to share a theory that I had in regards to Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted 2. If you find yourselves enjoying this video, I'd appreciate it if you took a quick moment to leave a like rating on the video. Thank you very much for your support, and let's dive on in. So the question of the day, how exactly did Vanny appear in this Fazbear training simulation? As found out upon release, Help Wanted 2 stands out as an advanced training simulation. To crack open this query, we first must examine the latest appearance of Vanny before Help Wanted 2. So the last time we've visually seen her was during Security Breach's Ruin DLC. However, we can technically hold that sighting as exempt, as that sighting was nothing more than old security footage, used to deceive Cassie to continue her belief of Gregory's imprisonment situation in the Pizzaplex, just in case she was getting suspicious. This was all devised by our mastermind in this situation, the Mimic. So breaking down thusly, that sighting was fake, which leaves us in only one direction. What happened before Ruin? Well, that happened to be the events of Security Breach. As such, then we'd have to judge which of the endings stand out as canon, which, if you ask me, I tell you it's the Princess Quest ending. Let's evaluate. This ending in particular leaves us with several strong hints at its upbringings, making it stand out apart from the others. And this is all thanks to the DLC pointing all this out. First off, we see an updated version of the final panel of the Princess Quest ending. Gregory and Vanessa wearing the same outfits, sitting in the exact same field as before, holding ice creams. However, Gregory's frozen treat is different and Glamrock Freddy isn't present and is replaced by Helpy. Does the security mask refrain Cassie from seeing Glamrock Freddy? Could be, or maybe, while using the security mask, it's quite often you'd see a Helpy everywhere who communicates with you, so there's a good chance that explains that. This old Fredbear cutout is somehow sending Cassie this frequency, telling her that her friend is safe, he's alright, he's not currently at the Pizzaplex. Secondly, the Princess Quest has shown Gregory leaving the Pizzaplex with Glamrock Freddy's head stuffed in a duffel bag. Gee, I wonder where he got that duffel bag from. It's not like there's hundreds of them lying around the building. But yes, the reason his head was removed was because he'd lose power if he'd left with Gregory. Thusly, why we see ruined Glamrock Freddy without a head. It left while the rest of his body stayed and decayed. Thirdly, Vanny isn't physically present in Ruin, implying she's left the building and priorly cured. Fourthly, it's evident that each of the other endings, not including the Princess Quest ending, never actually happened and were made up. This was shown when Cassie finds a bunch of scrapped pieces of paper that had drawings of every single ending in Security Breach, minus the Princess Quest ending. Once again, having that ending stick out like a sore thumb. Cassie, being a close friend of Gregory's, recognizes this was drawn by him, and it's evident that they're just representations of Gregory's interpretations of what could have happened to him. The van ending! Oh, that Gregory drawing is such ass. He looks like Anya from Spy X Family. Dude, he looks like the Anya face. Anya freaking Forger. But how is establishing Vanny's last appearance pre-Help Wanted 2 gonna help? How will it get us closer to the answer? Simple. Knowing how Vanny became cured in this ending, this tells us the current state of her psyche. She's back to the way she was, long before she's ever come together as one with Glitchtrap. Which leads me to my next point. Let's look at how the Help Wanted 2 ending came to be. Well, in order to access it, you must play the Princess Quest 4, which means this ending is powered by it, hidden within its code. And what if I told you Princess Quest 4 is the entire reason how Vanessa has entered the simulation? The Princess Quest arcade cabinets are very powerful and hold a unique power that not just any arcade cabinet can muster. That's right, even though she is cured, Vanessa's psyche is still intact with it. A part of her is inside the code. I think it's fair to say she lives both inside and outside the quest. But part of the question is how? What makes this series of arcades special? Well, evidently, the Princess Quests never actually existed. I believe the Princess Quests were created entirely by Glitchtrap. The first instance of Princess Quest was the first version found in the mobile edition of Help Wanted 1, the most unstable version both lore-wise and, funny enough, in reality, thusly making it easier to create his own hideout. This hack fell under the radar of Silver Parasol Games. Once his pretend minigame was discovered by Pizzaplex personnel, it was further developed on, programmed and coded into arcade cabinets for the grand opening of Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. This may sound like a negative, but this is exactly what Glitchtrap wanted. I mean, how else would he have gotten transferred into the Pizzaplex otherwise? His world was extracted and put into various Princess Quest games, i.e., the arcade conspiracy message. They are working together. The arcades, they are hiding something. The glitches. But what he didn't encounter for is Vanessa fighting back. She was rendered brainwashed to follow his orders in reality, but the only place she could think freely is through her avatar of the princess. The Princess Quest can govern sequence of events that happen inside Help Wanted. We've seen infiltrations, messing with the surroundings, putting things in places. Ergo, why we see its take on the FNAF 1 office, the hub world, the corn maze, and the vault door. Afterwards, seeing the princess taking the mask and the plushie and opening the vault door, which is the gateway between Princess Quest and Help Wanted. How else did we see the mask and plushie appear in Help Wanted? That's right, they all started inside Princess Quest and transferred outside into Help Wanted 1. So at this point, this all establishes that Vanessa had a clear soul before entering the simulation, how Princess Quest has special powers, and how she is interlocked with the princess. And now that we know all that, it's time to figure out how she's entered the simulation. Vanessa is a Fazbear employee and an owner of a security mask. What comes with a security mask is access to the AR world, and that is exactly how she's entered the Help Wanted 2 simulation. Remember this going forward. In Ruin, Cassie has come across the Princess Quest 3 arcade cabinet, toppled over, with a sword stabbed through. Who is guilty to have committed such a deed? Well, obviously that was Vanessa, after security breaches Princess Quest ending. So here's what happened. Vanessa, wearing her mask, pulled the sword from the screen before tipping the machine over, and thusly stabbed it. How do we know that's possible? How can we be sure that's what happened? Well, Help Wanted 2's trainee has the ability to do the same. Remember, trainee was able to pull the sword from the screen, but you may be saying, wait a minute, Help Wanted 2 is a virtual simulation, thusly anything is really possible. But there's a vital detail you might be forgetting about. Look back. All angles. That's right, the only way to play Princess Quest 4 is while wearing your in-game security mask. Thusly, that's necessary to draw the sword from the screen, just like Vanessa did. What I'm going to propose is Vanessa has entered the Help Wanted 2 simulation through merging with the Princess Quest arcade, but not just any of them. The fourth one. Now, I'll be the first to admit that there's a small issue with that deduction, knowing there's no record of a physical cabinet of Princess Quest 4, but let's look at that in a different light. According to the out-of-order message, there was no record of a physical cabinet of Princess Quest 3 either, yet, lo and behold, it actually exists. So who's not to say the same about Princess Quest 4? It certainly could have been hidden in a very safe place, that not even the ruining could have destroyed it. Remember, we've seen both the first and third of the Princess Quests in Ruin, both broken. During the time, Vanny knew how important it was to keep these things safe, therefore hiding the fourth one in a very safe location only security personnel, like her, could access, and thusly answers how she's been able to enter the simulation through the physical cabinet of Princess Quest 4, just like how Trainee has entered the ending level through Princess Quest 4. At this point in my thesis, we know exactly how she's entered through now, using the AR world to merge with the hidden Princess Quest 4 cabinet. Now all that's left is surmising the time of her entrance. Remember what I said earlier, a part of Vanessa is inside the princess, and vice versa. To add on to that, what if I told you Trainee has actually witnessed Vanessa's merging with Princess Quest 4? That's right. While Trainee finishes the first half of Princess Quest 4, Trainee finds the character they're playing as, which is the princess, entering the same room as Trainee. Yes, at the exact same time. That was Vanessa successfully entering the simulation. I mean, what does this look like? A bunch of white glitching, blinding you until you regain vision? That's right, that was Vanessa entering as her already programmed avatar of the princess, which is what she's known as in these machines' codes. It's her other half that's bound inside. Trainee actually met Vanessa. He or she stood right next to Vanessa when she entered. No words were exchanged. Of course, after all, you're just virtual and digital avatars, both unable to speak. Now that Vanessa's inside, she could then put her revenge scheme into action. Step 1 was to go back to the old man to ask for the virus, aka the plushie. He said he'd exchange it for the mask, which is why he says it's a fair trade before the elevator. However, the moment she saw Trainee's princess, she knew where the virtual mask was. In Trainee's princess's possession, because this time she wasn't merging as in-game princess. This time she was herself inside a princess's avatar body. However, once you enter the sister location elevator, that means the Princess Quest 4 is over, and any form of previous Princess Quest forms is lost. This explains why Vanessa is no longer seen as the princess after you step foot inside the elevator. This also explains how Trainee has lost his or her sword. But something that doesn't explain is how Vanessa's then simulated form became that of Vanny. However, there is a clear and logical explanation for that. Vanessa has put on her bunny girl outfit for the last time, just for this moment, to see the thing Glitch Trap created become his bitter end. How exactly? Well, let's remember what we know about the security mask. Vanessa, who's currently using one, had her outfit simulated as well. How do we know? Well, that's just how it works. Look at Cassie. She's entered and left the AR world dozens of times with her security mask, and each and every time she's entered wearing what she was currently wearing. That's just how the mask works. And that's how we see Vanessa in her Vanny costume in the Help Wanted 2 ending, and thusly completely answers the question, how exactly is Vanny here in the Fazbear training simulation? The only thing left is how Vanessa's become so unearthly huge. Well, the training simulation is actually programmed with a height system.
Can I get out of height adjust mode?
Meaning any user could change their height to match theirs during the training experience. I'd say Vanessa used that to turn herself into a giantess, ergo to intimidate Glitch Trap and be able to kill the virus once and for all. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that FNAF VR Help Wanted 2 theory video. If you did, let me know, leave a like rating on the video. Thank you very much for your support. And I've got to say, it's actually really interesting to get back into the theory mindset, because I have been out of the picture for a few months, for a little while now. But it's really cool because Help Wanted 2 is really, you know, enticing my brain to like become more vigilant on theories and stuff, so it's really cool once again, you know, getting back to that track. So if you want to see some more Help Wanted 2 theories, be sure to subscribe to my channel, because you're not going to want to miss any upcoming theory videos on the way. And if you want to be notified for future FNAF videos, be sure to tap that bell down below. And speaking of which, in the info below there is a ton of FNAF playlists with your name on it. So if you want to check out any other FNAF videos from the past, be sure to check out one of those playlists. But yeah, let me know what you think of my theory. Do you think this explains why Vanny is present in Help Wanted 2? Is there any pieces of evidence that I may have missed? Or maybe you think this theory is completely wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But yeah, with all that being said though, I will most certainly hope to see you guys in my next video. Stay fresh.